Hello, and welcome back to Method News, where we talk about science-based manifestation methods and concepts. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this topic. Let's get started. Today, we're talking about a few mindfulness living tips for manifestation motivation and how mindful living supports your ability to manifest faster, easier, and more satisfying results. So, the first thing we want to talk about today are the mental monuments in your mind, the way your brain works when it comes to what it pays attention to. These neural pathways act like monuments that say, this is how we do this, but they can be rewritten, reshaped, and even torn down. And it costs a lot of energy to make changes to these monuments of your mind. They're like the written in stone rules. So you have to break the stone, and it breaks every other system attached to the stone so you can reprogram what it tells you to do. And these mental presets in your brain are called associations. They say, if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do this. And it's your brain's way of trying to predict what will happen and what you will do in order to maintain consistency in your experience of reality, but also to be more energy efficient, to make sure that your identity is stable, and that you don't stray too far off what feels like survival, because we are biological survival systems. So your filters frame your attention when you are being mindful of things, when you notice things, when you're aware of things in your environment. And what you pay attention to over and over again creates that ambience of your life. It colors your moods and perspectives and what information you're able to receive and how you interpret it. So if you see someone walking across the street against the light, you may have a preset association that that's against the rules. This is a bad person or they're doing a bad thing according to your unconscious mental values. Now, the problem with this comes into being when you get into cognitive entrenchment, which is basically like a limiting mindset that says, okay, I can only operate according to these if then protocols. I can only operate according to this program, and there's nothing outside of it. And your mental filters, the unconscious ones, will not even allow you to see opportunities outside of your current frame. So if you spent most of your life being, let's say, working in retail, and you've been selling clothes or products in retail, cars, whatever it is. You've been selling things, right? You have an identity filter of being a salesperson. And then you have interpretations of that. This is all unconscious. You have interpretations of that that say, okay, this is what salespeople do, therefore this is what I should do. And studies show, brain scans show that these preset associations make decisions for you before you're even aware there's a decision to be made. It seems natural because we're looking at it after the fact. It seems like it was your idea, but really it's your unconscious mind, your system, your nervous system's survival protocols about who you are and how you should be with other people or how you should act within your environment. And it creates this nervous system baseline of whether or not your environment is regularly safe, if it's consistent, if it's stable, and whether or not it's okay to receive certain information, whether it will disrupt your current protocols and programming. And we are highly automated people. We are automated by our reticular activating system. We're automated by our default mode network. The reticular activating system monitors our filters and what gets through, and the default mode network decides who we are and what we do on a regular basis, what our day is like, what we'll do in social situations, what we'll do for work, what we'll do for money, what we'll do to, get our needs met. And if your signal is constantly being triggered by your environment because you're in a mismatched environment, you're misaligned to your environment, even if that is uncomfortable, even if it's not good for you in a sense of it's tearing your system down, you're getting exhausted, if your unconscious mind has identified this, if your nervous system has identified the program as keeping you alive, it may not prioritize happiness. Our systems are designed for survival, not to be happy, quote unquote. Happiness is usually just a brief feeling, you know, before the next feeling comes. But a general state of what the Greeks call eudaimonia is a sense of peace and purpose and knowing who you are and feeling, comfortable in your identity and your environment and system and feeling productive. And this is definitely an easier goal and a consistent level than being happy all the time, which usually is like a forced peace. You're just forcing down the real emotions to try to prioritize happiness. But in mindfulness, what you do want to reach for instead of happiness is acceptance of what you see, understanding that everything and everyone is a program interacting with systems that are programmed and automated, interacting with other systems that are programmed and automated. And when you can be more mindful, more focused, more noticing of your thoughts, of your feelings, of your experience in this present moment, you can be more open to changing your program to align with your manifestation goals. Because your identity is everything. Your filters are everything when it comes to what you can and what you are able to access in an experience and reality. Because if your filter says, no, this is not who I am not the type of person to have $100,000. I'm not the type of person to have an incredible relationship. I'm not the type of person who has what it is that I want to manifest. You've got to switch that programming to, of course, I'm this type of person. And I always have been. I've always had this available within myself. And that's what opens your filters up, your mental and emotional and nervous system filters opening up to a new possibility of experience and a new interpretation of it. Because it's not just the physical experience itself. You might get a new car, the exact one that you want, and it just keeps breaking down. It's nothing like what you hoped for because your filters are still stuck in that old program. So if you want not just the thing itself, but the experience that you imagine that thing will bring you, then you've got to change those underlying filters to have the experience first, the experience itself. And then when the thing comes, the interpretation of it can be open to being satisfied. You could be satisfied with that thing. Not, okay, I have it. Now this isn't good enough. Now let me find the next thing and raise the bar. You can have satisfaction right this second. You do not have to wait for anything to have already manifested. It's there. It's available within your system to find things to feel satisfied of. And, this is the goal of mindfulness because you can be mindful and you can be paying attention and you can be paying attention to entirely things that are going to make you miserable and make you anxious and make you depressed. You're very mindful, you're very present, but not with the things that you want to be feeling and the experiences that you want to be having. So it's really important to aim those filters at exactly, I want to feel peace. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel comfortable in just being a human being in my particular identity. So I hope this has helped you understand a little bit more about mindful living in manifestation and how to direct those filters and attention to have new programs in your predictive systems, in your experience of reality. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and sign up for the Method News newsletter in the description below.